In this video, I would like to go over a brief overview of the Glue API project that I was involved with while employed at Siemens. Glue is an app um, where it connects an API to different devices that are being tested. In particular, the device that's being tested in this application, where I was involved in creating the front end and the UI UX aspect of the production process, is a street light that they were rolling out into the field. But they wanted something to test before they brought the whole street light to the street. So if we scroll down, we have a street light here. I created this in Adobe Illustrator. I am a vector artist. I really enjoy working with SVG files, and this is an exact replica that I created of the street light that's being tested. Scrolling back up, so the folks at Siemens found out that I had a background in UI UX. When I first started working there, they had very working knowledge of understanding what UI UX was, even though I was hired to design user interfaces for their flagship product that they were putting out in the public called the Cedo CC. I think it's up to version 5 right now. But as I was working within that software, it it gathered a lot of attention because I was speaking a language that these engineers were not familiar with, and I felt it was kind of my duty in a way as being employed there to share this information with them as a UI UX designer, a graphic designer, and all the things that I've learned throughout my career. The Glue API was developed by a gentleman. He was in a branch located in Florida, and I was out here in Denver, Colorado. And with this API, you can connect the languages that these devices speak to to a front end that I created. And I kind of want to go over the scope of it and what was presented to me during this UI UX process. This application was to be used in an industrial environment, a factory setting where engineers would be testing the streetlights before leaving to be installed in the community. The community is called Sterling Ranch, fully automated community south of Denver. Pretty amazing, especially being a part of this project. I had the biggest constraint that I had during this was I was allocated 24 hours of time in a development world. That's very little time to create anything. But like I said, they're not familiar with the aspect of UI UX. I'm working with engineers. Um, we're different in a way. They specialize in connecting devices that give off warnings, things of that nature. The whole user interface is not a thing of importance. And I brought that to Siemens, a global company, and I'm very proud of that. There's a little pushback. It's a big global company, but as you'll see by the end of this video, how I impact the way this global company does business, especially in the building automation division. This app has to be had to be created so it fits every device size. So they came to me and they're like, "Oh, Eddie, what do I use? What do we use to create this front end?" They were unsure what the folks the testing setting out in the factory environment. They weren't sure what they were going to use. So I just said, well, "Hey, I have knowledge of Bootstrap. I can create a front end in Bootstrap for you. It'll be responsive to anything. You put it up on a server just like a website, and they can access it, and it'll fit every screen properly." And because it's in a factory setting, this application had to be fast. Um, Fast and efficient was very important. I really didn't want engineers fumbling with anything, getting frustrated because it wasn't fast enough, and they had a lot of tests to run. This street light has a lot of functionality, you know, from a beacon up on top here that can read weather conditions to PA systems to this beacon changing color based on the warnings and conditions, to these LED lights being able controlled by different percentages. So if I click down here on this drop down, here's LED light, and all these buttons went function through the API, and it would change this SVG image as it was tested. So if I go down here, if I put in 30%, for instance, 30% of these circles right here would turn yellow, allowing a visual guide of a way that the test was successful or not. I created the mock-up first in Adobe Illustrator. I was able to locate. This is they didn't have Sketch. XD was was not an option on the Creative Cloud at this time. Um, And so I would do wireframes and mockups real fast in Adobe Illustrator. I'm fast and very efficient at the software. It's vector, and while going like scrubbing the internet, I found a UI kit for Bootstrap, which saved me tons of time. Like I said, I had 24 hours allocated time to create this. I was pretty much under the gun to get this done, which doesn't bother me, but it kind of actually excites me. It challenges me who I am as a designer, UI, UX, um, and I embraced it. So going through this app, created a logo. This was something discussed during the discovery of the UI UX process. Um, I was working with an engineer. His specialty was the equipment being used. A server professional, I would say, a back end guy, very good at servers. He's the guy who connected the API to the front end through the server, and worked closely with the gentleman that developed this API for Siemens. So together we come up with the idea of using Bootstrap because it was I had access to it. I actually use Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver has Bootstrap in it, and outside of Dreamweaver, I was also familiar with it. So it really made the process faster. I tried to include all the tools I knew. So I used Adobe Illustrator, Bootstrap, and to create um, prototypes and also high fidelity prototypes. And I just want to go through the app real quick. So you have the logo, you have drop down, and all these areas can be changed real fast based on what the developers of the API and the Siemens engineer wanted. We got some input fields. The buttons I created larger buttons, so that it's easier for the testers in the field to be able to handle this app without having any trouble. Kind of like if you think about a point of sale system, it's at your local restaurant. Buttons are huge. It's just so they can access information fast or process information fast. There's a sequence of operations. This is pretty much the instructions of what the testers are going to be doing, the scope of the project in a way. And this is an accordion effect. I like using accordions because it saves a lot of space. Like I said, this is built for a tablet-sized canvas, but just in case they want to use smaller devices, I use the accordion to kind of save space. I don't want them scrolling up and down too much. You can just press this and they get the information right at their fingertips. Also used it right here for the manual testing group. It's fully functional, and this is it's a space saver. I just wanted to make sure that any device I used it was appropriate, and it's fully responsive. So if I make it smaller, see, it drops down into place and all that, which was one of the key components. I think it's a key component to everything that's developed nowadays. And now you hover over. and you get all these effects. And that's pretty much the basis of this. But the exciting thing about this app was that it really opened the eyes to a global company. Working for Siemens, as it's a large, I mean, anybody knows Siemens knows how they're just very large. And for me to influence the way they do business, I'm very proud of that. And I want to show you something before I end this short overview. And I can go into more detail during the interview process. During this, I was um, I was just looking at Siemens, see where they were at with the Zigo CC, and I came upon this article right here. I'm gonna switch over right now. So here's the press release from Siemens, and this link will be provided uh, on the page in the description of this video. So if I scroll down, it says here, user experience as key element, and it explains it all. They never ever use the term user experience or UI UX in any marketing or anything like that. This is what this application accomplished, and that really that really showed me how important UI UX is in any product that's being developed. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's it. Thank you for watching.